Happy Monday. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube and you're watching after the fact, let me know in the comments. Put in the comments hashtag replay so I know. We'll give everybody a minute or two to hop on since apparently I didn't have this listed as an event for this week. April Fool's to myself, I guess. Okay, we'll get everything set, get myself situated. Melissa is sort of with me and sort of not. She is not at her usual venue this evening, so she's having to do things a little bit differently, but she still should be able to help out and post things. So she can't tell me if she can hear everything okay, so let me know if you can hear. Hi, Sherry. Thank you. Yes, I'm back. I I heard it's supposed to snow tomorrow or Wednesday, and I'm not too thrilled about that. Not a whole lot I can do about it though. Hi, Holly, working on a puzzle and then knitting after. Hi, Mama. Okay, good. Sounds good. Yeah, I see a little angry faces for the snow. I feel the same way. My week in Florida was amazing. The weather was great. I think we had a tiny bit of rain the one day while the girls and I were getting pedicures. By the time we were done, it was done raining. And so, yeah, as you can tell, I got some sun. I also had my sunglasses on most of the time, so I have a little bit of this raccoon eye thing going on. Oh, Sarah still at the office. Oh, April 15th is coming quickly. I hope that means things are going to be settling down soon for you. Hi, Patty. Hi, Linda. So I mentioned right at the beginning, but there weren't too many people on yet. I apologize for the fact that there was not an event created for today. I thought there was. So I guess I April Fools to myself. I don't know. I'm not the jokester one, so I didn't come up with anything good for April Fool's Day. Hi, Oriana. Hi, Cindy. Um, yeah, we had a great time. So Karen joked that I packed a completely separate suitcase with the sunshine in it, and typical of airlines, they lost that bag. So the sunshine got lost somewhere between Florida and here in the clouds. Hi, Shar. Thank you. But it is mostly good to be back. Good to, you know how it is, get back into a routine, back to your own bed and your own fridge and pantry full of snacks and goodies. That's what I'm always looking forward to, the food. Ruth and Michelle are watching on YouTube. Awesome. I know it will warm up soon enough. It's just gonna take a little bit of time. So let's go ahead and get started. I have a few things to talk about today. We'll see how long I ramble for. As a note, and I will mention this again later on, but April 15th, I will not be doing a live. So next week, April 8th, I will. But I canceled the one for the 15th because I will be back in Florida helping mom and dad close up the condo for the season and then fly back with them, get them settled back in Michigan. So unless something else changes, I won't be doing a live 2 weeks from tonight. So, but today I am. So welcome to Monday Motivation. Today is April 1st. Happy April. Happy April Fool's Day. If that's a thing that you celebrate, I hope you had a wonderful family-filled or joy-filled weekend, Easter weekend, this past weekend. For those of you who have kids that were on spring break or are on spring break, I hope you had an enjoyable time. We had a great time. My name is Kristen. I am the owner of the Little Yarn Shop located in downtown Saginaw, Michigan, inside the SVRC Marketplace. Marketplace hours for all the vendors are Wednesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Shop hours are Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sometimes a little bit later, depending on the date, depending on what the girls are up to. Most Monday evenings at 7 o'clock, I go live here on Facebook and on YouTube. And at the same time, Deb is hosting drop-in knitting help from 6:30 to 8:30 in the front lobby here. So if that's something that if you need help that's a great way to get it. $10, you get 2 hours of her time and or Ashley's time, because Ashley is here to help also. Um, both are very, very knowledgeable ladies, and we're lucky to have them around. Upcoming events, the Goose Tooth Co. is the new restaurant that's going in where the boardroom was. They are going to be opening, I want to say she said April 5th. I can't remember, but I think it's sometime this week that the restaurant is opening. They will be open 7 days a week. They will have brunch on Sundays. They are open, I think, like 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. or something like that. They've got nice long hours. They had sort of a soft opening this past Friday. Obviously, I was in Florida, so I didn't get a chance to go there for that, but I have sampled a few of their pizzas and their grinders, and they are yummy. So they're doing artisan flatbread pizzas and hi Jill, artisan grinder subs. They don't have their liquor license yet, but they will be a full tap room once that gets approved. So that takes some time, and apparently, sorry, you guys, I'm right at the end of my row of my knitting backwards and I messed up. Apparently restaurants can't apply for a liquor license until they've gotten the final approval to open. So Amberlynn is the owner. She also owns My Table in Bay City, which is a great farm to table restaurant. But she was one of the original vendors here in the marketplace. She had a place when we first opened called the Blending Bowl, and she did smoothies, juices, vegan and vegetarian breakfasts, lots of really yummy stuff, salads. She ended up closing that in order to focus on opening the restaurant in Bay City, but now she's on to other things. So she's back here in the marketplace, which is exciting for us. She's got a great mind for business and for restaurants. So we're excited about that. So she should be opening this week, which is exciting to have another option for food here. Crude Ups is officially open. I know quite a few of our regulars have gotten food from them. They are doing smoked meats, so a chicken and like rib tips, and trying to think of what else they have. Those are the only two things that I've gotten so far. Actually, the rib tips are the only things that I've gotten so far. Their barbecue sauce is really good. Maybe you girls can chime in because I know you've gotten a few things from them. Yes, Holly has gotten wings. So they're new. We are getting a smoothie bowl place and a build your own salad place. Those are coming down the line. Just with everything else, it all takes time, especially with food businesses and getting things, getting the approvals all in place. So that's what's going on around here. Let's talk about knitting. I am wearing my ELF top. That's ELFE. It is a fingering weight top down lightweight tee top. It is seamless. It's got a really cool construction, the way you set up for the shoulders. I made this one a while ago, so I don't remember exactly the construction, but I remember it was a little bit different. But the way it's designed is to be sort of a fade with two colors. So you would need either 2 or 4 skeins of fingering weight yarn, depending on the size you do. So I used 1 skein each of 2 colors of mint rain yarn back when we used to carry mint rain yarns, just a light speckle and a dark speckle, and your stripes alternate. It's a pattern that has tons of projects, so you can go in there and look and see what other people have done in terms of altering the stripes, doing it all in one color, because it is a really cool construction. I don't remember if there is a little bit of A-line shaping to it, so there are some increases along the sides that give it a nice a little bit of a flared look. So even if you wanted to just do it in one color, it's a nice shape for a top. I knit the sleeves a little bit longer than what she called for a short sleeve. I just wanted to use every little bit of the one skein of each of the two colors that I have. So I think it probably would have stopped maybe there. If I had knitted the way the short sleeve pattern was written, I just went a little bit further just to try and use up as much of the yarn as I could. But either one skein each of two colors or two skeins each of two colors would get you this top, and it looks beautiful on many different bodies. Thank you, Heather. So that's what I'm wearing. I am working on a sort of top secret project. I will show it, but I can't really talk a whole lot about it because it's one of the patterns going to be released on LYS Day. It's going to be called the Trust Fall Shawl, and it's by Jessica, who designs under the name Double the Stitches. Cannot find a way to comment on YouTube from my phone. We'll have to figure out how to go back and do that. So those of you who are watching on YouTube, Melissa can't, she has limited resources, so she's working just with her on her phone today and can't comment on the YouTube video. So keep that in mind. She's not ignoring you. So the Trust Fall Shawl, Jessica from Double the Stitches. This will be her third or fourth year that she's done a knit along pattern that is released on LYS Day, and she gives stores that participate codes to give to customers. When you buy the yarn, you get the download code to get the pattern for free. Last year she did, I actually happen to have it right here. This stole shape, LYS Love is what it was called. And you started with the center lacy section. And then you pick up and knit panels along either side. So you get this big rectangular, this poor thing needs to be reblocked, but this rectangular scarf, kind of a stole. This was last year's. And she is again designing in a DK weight yarn, but the pattern this year is very flexible in terms of the yarn that you use, the weight of the yarn, how big you make it, because it's essentially a 12-row repeat. So you can make it as large or as small as you want. I am using Variations DK, which is 100% superwash merino. It is 100 grams, 254 yards. The color I'm using is called Portentous Peridot. It actually looks very similar to the green cropped top that I did. I wonder if it's actually the same color in the heavier yarn. The diamonds top. There's a top that I did last year that has the beads, little diamond beads on the sleeves. That's out of the Variations fingering weight. And I don't have any of that color in stock right now. But this is their DK weight yarn. And I was looking around and I don't think I had a cowl sample that Christina knit for me with this yarn and I can't find it. So this is what I'm using for, and you can see, look at all that, the lights and the darks, this tonal. And this is what I have so far. So it's a crescent shaped shawl that has increases every row. So it's going to be kind of a long and not very deep, but really wide crescent shape. But again, you can make it larger if you want it longer. You could use larger needles to get a more drapey look. This is sort of a dense look, but look how gorgeous it is. And again, it's a 12-row repeat. So that's some stockinette and then a few rows of pretty simple lace. And you get that texture and the color. Variations is the perfect name for this yarn. So I'm excited about this. This is one of the patterns that will be released on LYS Day. I had a little bit of a typo that I fixed last week when I posted about LYS Day. It is the 27th, not the 29th. It is a Saturday, April 27th. And we're going to have quite a few things here in the store that will be special for LYS Day. We're getting the special colors from Wonderland Yarns. They are releasing some blossoms, which are their gradient cakes, and also some tonal yarns. Madeline Tosh has a color for LYS Day, and we are bringing that in. We are starting to carry some Madeline Tosh, so that's kind of fun, something that I've thought about for a long time. Barocco has some cowl patterns that will be free with the purchase of any Barocco yarn. I may or may not have samples of that this year. I appreciate the fact that in the past, last year was a hat, the year before was cowls. They design a knit version and a crochet version that are similar in style. So crocheters don't feel left out. I know sometimes everything tends to be knit focused. My friend Becca, who owns Threadbender Yarn Store in Grand Rapids, has designed a sweater called Love Your Sweater. Mine is finished, but it is at home blocking, so I will have that to show off next week. And that pattern will be free with the purchase of yarn. Dreaming Color is not doing special colors this year, which is a little bit sad for us, but with the transition to in ownership to being owned by Madeline Tosh, they want to focus on making sure that their core business is set the way it's supposed to be before they start doing some of the other things. And I got thinking earlier, Melissa made a comment about can't wait to see everybody that day. Now that we have all of the spaces in the building have signed leases, we're gonna have to find a different space to take over for everybody to hang out. Because I do, of course, want everybody to hang out as much as possible that Saturday, because we like having knitters around and crocheters around and spinners around, hanging out, showing off what they do, visiting with each other, inspiring each other like you do. So I have some finished things to show off, but they're not mine, they're my mom's. They still count though. I can brag about her things. So one of the things that I brought back from Florida that she finished was a shawl called Lefty by Martina Bem. And it's designed to use leftover scraps of a bunch of different colors for little short row sections. And if you look at it, it looks sort of similar to the endless rainbow that we have on display up by the counter, up on the wall by the counter, that's got kind of the rainbowy look to it. But this is my mom's Lefty shawl. And so it's got all these cute little leaves. They look like little leaves, little short row blips along the edge that you do every so often. And instead of using a solid yarn and either scraps or a contrast color yarn, she just knit with a skein of our Saginaw standard self-striping sock yarn. So that's one of our custom colors from last year, where if you knit it just as is, you would get a little stripe that looks like that. But because of the change in stitches and rows, you get this really fun look. So down here where she started, you can see the stripes are wider, the rows are shorter. As the rows get longer, stripes get narrower. But really, for the most part, each of the little leaves is a solid color until you get down toward the end, and then it's a little bit different. But one of the nice things about doing something like this with a self-striping yarn, and because it's all in garter, yeah, I think it's really cool how it turned out. And there's really no right side or wrong side. On something like this, if you were using two different yarns, you would definitely have that, you would have a right side and a wrong side where you would see the difference in the stripes of the yarns. But this looks the same on both sides, so it's nice and reversible. Don't pay attention to the fact that the ends aren't woven in. I was supposed to do that. That was, that's my part of the bargain of things is weaving in the ends. And I realized as I was showing this to Deb a little bit earlier that I forgot to do that, but a good size. So this is one skein and it's plenty to do to wear as a scarf. Plenty substantial. And a lot of times this is how I will wear scarves like this. And if I don't want the tails to hang down, I will sort of move the cowl part out of the way, tie these in a little knot, and just kind of tuck them under. Then you get more of just a cowl look without those ends kind of flopping around. Is that the one that was on Jeopardy? I don't know. I vaguely remember something about somebody wearing knitting on Jeopardy, but I can't remember any more than that. Maybe somebody else knows. But so that's a great way to kind of turn your small-ish cowl into a scarf or into smallish scarf into a cowl. I think I'm still in vacation mode. Can't quite think right. So that was one of the things my mom finished while she was in Florida. She also finished yet another bright side shawl. So this is the bright side. Using one skein of Dream Color worsted in their assigned pooling yarn. So it's somewhere in my pile here. So the yarn is Dream Color Classy, which is their worsted weight, 100% superwash, 4 ounces, 250 yards, in the color Watermark. So at these skeins, kind of 3/4 of the skein is one color, and then you've got that pop of a contrast color. In this shawl, the method is to knit stockinette stitch when you're in the main color and do the opposite when you're knitting with the contrast color. So depending on the length of the rows, you can see there are some sections where there's just a big solid section. There are sections where the pop of color overlaps. And it's just a really cool shawl. So we do still have a few skeins of this here. They're $28 a piece. Again, that's 100% superwash merino, 250 yards. So the bright side shawl is written for fingering weight yarn, but it is easy to modify. And I have, because this is one of those fun patterns my mom has done multiples of. Here's one that she did in fingering weight. One skein, Dream Color, smushy with cashmere, Violet Fields. This was one of their very first assigned pooling colors they came up with. So it's written for fingering weight. And this is what you would get. If you bump up a needle size or two, you can do it with a sport weight, which is what this one is. This yarn is Wonderland's Color Burst yarn in their Mad Hatter called The Scent of Old Books. So it's got this little white speckly section. Very, very versatile pattern. And then the worsted weight one. Again, this is one you could do the same thing where you could just tie the ends under. Oh, look, it coordinates with my outfit. You could tie the ends under and then have just sort of a cute little cowl to wear. And we've got quite a few different colors in all 3 weights here in stock. In the fingering weight, we've got still a few one-of-a-kind skeins left that I picked up last summer when I was in Chicago. And they're smushy with cashmere. So like this one, you would get kind of that tealy with the bright green as your pop of color. This one, you would get the tans with that little bit of a blue as the pop of color. This one, you would get the browns with the pop of green. And again, none of them have any names. They're just one of a kind. And as mom says, easy pattern. Basically, you're knitting in stockinette. So knit on the right side, purl on the wrong side until you get to that opposite color. And then you do the opposite with some increases. So we've got that was what I just showed you was fingering weight. We've got the worsted weight in a few color options. This one, the Johnny Jump Up, is one of their colors that I have set aside in what we're calling our Detroit Pride area. So we've got the colors that look like Detroit Lions colors and Tigers colors over there. This would be a great Detroit Tigers scarf. The brown with the green. Yep, Sarah will set that aside for you. Mama says Aunt Jackie's on here. Hi, Aunt Jackie. Let's see, those were worsted. Sport weight. We've got a few. I've got one of the Scent of Old Books, which is what the sample was knit with. We've got a purples. That's That First Magical Kiss. And these are all Wonderland. Your favorite shirt, fresh from the wash. And this is gray with kind of a dark denim blue as the pop. That would be a great neutral for somebody. If you wanted to make a gift for somebody but didn't quite know what their colors were, that would be a good one. And Rainy Day Rainbow is a light gray with a rainbow pop in there. And then we do have our custom Saginaw color in the sport weight too. I just didn't grab one of those. So those are the things. Oh, and mom finished another one of her projects from the Wander Knit Club. So Wander Knit is a sort of quarterly travel club that we've got a few people participating in each quarter-ish. They pick a different region and have yarns and patterns and little goodies that highlight that region. So I don't remember. I should have looked at that. I don't remember which location this, I think this was Morocco, but she finished this cool cowl. I think it's called the Taida cowl. I did just send it to Melissa, but then I forgot it. Maybe I wrote it down in my notes, like, you know. Nope, I didn't write it in my notes. But this was a project she finished, so it was a tubular cowl. I'm hiding a little bit because I didn't weave the ends all the way in, but you start with a provisional cast on and then you Kitchener graft the two ends together. So you can see the line because you do Kitchener it in one color, obviously. But that goes at the back of your neck anyway, so nobody would see that part. But this yarn is so squishy. So the yarn is Haiku Madrona. A couple weeks ago, I showed off some kind of rust color fingerless mitts that my mom made from that same Wander Knit collection. The yarn is 30% baby alpaca, 30% merino, 20% bamboo viscose, 20% nylon. Says easy wash treated for machine washability. I don't know if it's machine dryable though. So they come in these cute little cakes. And this was one of the projects. So she finished that. It is so soft and squishy. I was talking to Deb before I started, before she went to go get ready for class. I would be curious to see how this yarn would knit up in a sweater. It's not one that we carry on a regular basis, but after feeling this cowl, I might want to. It is really, really squishy and soft. I think the Wander Knit Club is continuing. I just don't have a whole lot of information on what the next destination is going to be. We do have a few kits from previous locations left. I believe I've got Alaska, Patagonia, whatever was one of the other most recent ones. Can't remember. I was just moving all those around in the back room today too, and I can't remember. But they are listed on our website under WanderKnit. So if any are available, they show up on there. Excuse me. So those are the things that Mom finished. Okay, goodies in the shop. I have 2 skeins left from the Wonderland Tour of the Seasons from their, I want to say this was February. February, they accidentally sent us the wrong base, which was fine because those sold because they were beautiful and lovely. But then they sent us the right base for people who were interested. Instead of doing their storybook club like they did last year, this year they're doing what they're calling Tour of the Seasons, Block of the Month Club. So every month is a skein of a sport weight yarn. This one's called Mansfield Park. And it's Mad Hatter base. Their sport weight, 344 yards in 4 ounces of 100% superwash merino. So I have 2 skeins of this left. It's this beautiful burgundy color. It is, you guys know this is my color, but I can't take home all the yarn. It's $36. You get a skein of yarn inside the pattern. Inside the label has a QR code for the block of the month pattern and also a 1 skein, a couple different options for a 1 skein sport weight project. If you did not want to do the block of the month. So you get that. And then you also get 2 cute little stitch markers, themed stitch markers. And the other thing they've done this month is each month you get a little postcard that's an invitation. And on the back, it's a little work in progress card. So the invitation for this one says the Crawford House is invited to attend a celebration ball in honor of Miss Fanny Price at Mansfield Park, February 1st, 2024 at 5 o'clock. Sir Thomas Bertram and Lady Bertram. So it's a cute little thing on the back. It's got what pattern did you select, brand, weight, color, and dye lot, what size you did, what bits and bobs are you using, hook, needle size, stitch markers, haberdashery, and other things needed, what your gauge is. So just a fun little trinket. So each month you get one of these little cards that has a different little design on it based on what the month is. So it's kind of like a Sense and Sensibility. The colors so far this year have been beautiful. There's this kind of raspberry color there. March was a beautiful teal that did not last very long, of course. And I just got a notification that something from Wonderland Yarns is coming to me. So I'm assuming that's going to be April's. Should be here this week. So that's exciting too. Don't know what that's going to be. Okay, Mama wants one. Set one of those aside. So now I have one of those left. Little goodies that we got in the shop. I was in the shop yesterday for a couple hours and started going through some of the boxes that came in while I was gone. And in those boxes, one of the things was these little tags to put on Holly. Yes. So some of you that got March's skein of yarn, the teal, may not have gotten the cards and or the stitch markers. They ran out. So some of the shops didn't get all of them. I tried to make notes of that, but yes, for sure. Let's double check with me and we'll make sure that you get what you need. And if it was one of these that you didn't get from this one, the Miss Fanny Price at Mansfield Park, let me know because I do have an extra one of those and maybe that's why. But we got these cute little kitty tags to put, like you fold them over and they've got the hardware to screw onto the edge of a hat or the bottom hem of a sweater, and they're little kitty cats. So they come as a set of 6. They are faux leather with the little studs. It's $12 for the set of 6 of them. There's kind of a cream, blue, a light purple, a dark purple, a brown, and a gray. So really sweet little things. And we got a handful of those in stock. And Clover came out with a new ball winder, so I ordered one to kind of check it out and have here in the shop. For those of you who have used the plastic ball winders in the past, they tend to be a little flimsy, I guess is the way to put it. And they are calling this one the granddaddy of the ball winders. It is definitely not as heavy duty as the Knitter's Pride, the long tabletop Knitter's Pride heavy duty ball winder that we have, that we carry, that we usually do promotion for around the holidays. But it is, without taking it all the way apart, you can see it is a pretty sturdy unit with a larger handle than those tiny little ones that you get for the less expensive plastic winders. So I got one of those here in the shop. If you are curious and you want to check it out, you are welcome to come in and do so. Trying to not mess everything up here. So those are $99. So like I said, we've got one here in the shop. We can order one if you're interested. We do have the wood ones also. And then we got some, this happened a little bit before I left, but I didn't even have a chance to talk about it. We got some new Della Q bags. The purple was such a popular design before, and we got some more. So this time we got drawstring bags. So kind of a, I don't know, I guess I call them pillowcase style drawstring bags. I have it full of more of the same bags. These are $15 each. Take everything out there. So drawstring style bag, good for a small project or the beginning of a project, socks, whatever. We just got the one pattern this time, so we've got it in the purple with the yarn balls, the little purple poles in the bottom. So I've got a handful of those. Those are $15. And then for my sock or fingerless knitters, or glove knitters, I guess, I got these. It was a collaboration with Della Q and Chicken Boots Designs. So it's this little wristlet bag, again, with the purple design on there. It's got a cute little front pocket. This is Chicken Boots by Della Q in there. So little front pocket, and this has elastic to keep everything in place. You can put your skein. You could probably get 2 skeins in there of a fingering weight yarn. And it would be perfect to be able to walk or sit on the plane and knit without having to, when I was knitting on the plane, I was trying to figure out where to put my project bag, and I ended up trying to rig some way to hang it on the tray table with the tray table up. But having something like this that just has a little wristlet would be perfect. These are $21, and we've got a handful of those here in the shop also. So I like the fact that they're sort of clear on the other side, so you can see everything that you have in there. And all of Della Q bags come with a little tapestry needle too. So each one of them has that little goodie in there. I think I mentioned before that we're getting special LYS Day snap bags from Della Q for LYS Day as well. What else? Tour of the Seasons, we talked about that. I did get new colors of, Mom, which one? That's one, the little chicken boots. I think that's the one you're talking about. New colors of the variations. They came out with more colors in their DK and their fingering weight yarn. So in one of my shipments, I got a bunch of that. It is out on the shelf. Um, Julie, I know you knit your sail away in the pink variations DK, and I'm curious if you've worn that, how it's held up. It does have kind of a cool construction with the number of plies, which I think would make it wear really nicely for a sweater. I feel like after I'm done with knitting this shawl for LYS Day, maybe my next sweater will be out of this because they came out with some really cool colors. So we got some restock in the fingering weight and in the DK weight of that yarn. I also have sitting on the table 6 colors of Lang sock yarn, and I'll grab one just to show you, but we are not going to talk about all of them today. But Lang watercolor socks, twin socks, they call them. So I don't remember how that works. If there's something that where they're split halfway, so you can use half a skein to make one sock and then half a skein to make another. This is a fun, bright one. It's kind of grays and bright pinks and blues and purples, but they give you a little picture of what the colors, how the sock knits up. So that's kind of fun. So we got it was their spring, summer sock colors. Got kind of a blue, green, and a pink, and this bright one. So, well, there we go. There's a spot that is the split point. That makes sense. Not worn, but do not think it will. So I've done a cowl in it as well. If you could bring something in as a sample, like either the cowl or the sweater, that would be very helpful, Julie. I'd appreciate that. So that's here. The sock yarn is here in the shop too. Something else to come in and check out. And I think that's all I've got for you all today. I think that was enough. Next week, I'll have a couple of my sweaters done being blocked and drying and ready to show off. And I'm sure we'll have more things to talk about as well as the month progresses. So I hope everybody has a great week, that you are knitting or crocheting your little hearts out while it's cold outside. At least it feels cold to me. At least the sun was shining today. But I hope you have a great week. And if we don't see you here in the shop, then I hope to see you all next Monday right here at 7 o'clock. And have a great week. And I will